talking about looking at film, right, of your own roles. Why don't we do that more in jiu-jitsu, man? You know, I really think, like, successful athletes in all sports watch film.
Yeah.
Right? They do. I remember being a high school wrestler and going in at lunch break to watch matches that you had the weekend prior. Right? And not all of us did it. It was something more of the dedicated wrestlers did. Right? But it helps, man. Like, and football players?
Yep.
Football players watch film.
Every major sport.
It's fundamental to watch film. Right?
Even, that's why you have a coach that's sitting in your chair at a competition, is because they have an overview of what's happening. And there's things that you don't see or feel that are going on when the coach will be like, oh, just do that.
Right,
and it clicks with the person that's practicing or competing. And it's like, oh, why wasn't I was so focused on this that I didn't even see this thing going on over there. And then you can go back and watch the film and be like, oh, I keep getting my guard passed because this keeps going there.
Yeah.
And you can dissect that on film super easy.
Yeah. And I feel, you know, what's funny is, now that I think about it, because every match I do in a tournament or whatever, like, somebody's recording it.
Yeah.
Right? You always want those recorded. But I don't think I've ever watched the full match back.
Really?
Even on Facebook, I don't. It's like, I was there. I remember that. I don't need to watch that. But if in terms of, like, you know, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to improve on? I'm surprised that it's not more fundamental to, like, watch footage. Watch your own footage. I mean, the best would be sparring.
Yeah.
The best footage you could watch would probably be sparring footage.
It's tough to get out of the mental mindset. I always tell people, feel free to film, just don't post it. Because you don't want to be that person if somebody else is working on something and just completely outgun them. But
Well, that other person needs to know they're being filmed.
Yes.
Don't work on something right now.
and that's the other mindset of it, is if you go, hey, I'm setting up a camera, you know they're going to click it up a notch.
Of course.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, you
Yeah.
are. Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. But if you're doing it because of the fear of getting something humiliated posted on Facebook or something, then yeah, that's different. But yeah, man, you should. And I do it when something comes up, like a situation or a discussion. Like, I've done this with you. I'll go back on the security footage and I'll watch the rolls, right? And I'll see what a certain particular student needs to work on, like, especially if there was a question. You know, we do it when there's an injury, you know, and if somebody gets hurt and you want to know how it happened, you go back and watch the security footage. But also, like, if like you've done this, like you're asking a question about something when a guy's pressuring you down from your closed guard and you knew that they weren't supposed to do that, but it's like, what do I do? And the answer, I remember the answer was, don't let him smash you down. Because there are certain positions where if a guy is bigger and stronger than you, and he's not a brand new white belt, he's like a color belt, he's going to be able to do certain fundamental things wrong and have it be successful, right? So, but yeah, going back and watching the tape is huge, you know, as a coach. So it just popped into my head, like, why on earth don't we watch more footage? You know, I could see people wanting to, you know, go upstairs at the gym and look at the security footage and just watch all their rolls from sparring. Yeah. And that would be beneficial, man.
100%. There's only so much time that we can actually spend training, and, you know, our bodies can only do so much per day. But film that's just a mind exercise. So you can go back and watch hours of film as you recover. Or if you're out with an injury, if you got a library of video on yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think on yourself is the key, because I think a lot of people do like a good look on the internet for jiu-jitsu, but it's other people's. They want to watch people that they're a fan of or somebody that they know is awesome. They watch that. It's like, you got to kind of become, like, not in an arrogant way, but a fan of watching yourself. Yeah. Like, you know, get to where you're impressed by your own jiu-jitsu. And that's important, because I know I've said that before on these podcasts, where when I was like a purple belt, I literally stopped being impressed with my own jiu-jitsu. At first, I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. Like, you know, I'm winning white belt tournaments and killing dudes as blue belts and stuff. But yeah, I remember that point where I was just like, I'm not impressed with myself. This is boring. Like, my game is very one-dimensional. Like, I wasn't happy with it, and I literally switched everything up. And it was because of, you know, watching some footage. I think I remember watching myself at Purple Belt Worlds get beat up. And the year before that, I did well at Blue Belt Worlds. I got second, right? Out of a giant field of 120-something people, I got second. And I went into the next year at Purple Belt and got smoked. Not only got smoked, but I, like, I got smoked by guys that lost to dudes I'd beaten the year before. It's like, oh man, why am I going backwards? Something's wrong. And I remember watching the footage and being like, that's what's wrong, dude. You're a boring wrestler still trying to wrestle. It's like I still had that mentality of I want to see if my wrestling can beat jiu-jitsu. Why, dude? Just embrace jiu-jitsu, right? It's like when you walk into a gym and you're a brand new wrestler, that's usually your mindset. People will tell you, oh, I'm here to learn. Bullshit. They're here to see if they can beat your ass with their wrestling. That's what they're here to do, right? So yeah, I mean, watching some footage of yourself, it could make you change your whole game.
Might be able to, one of those ways to get past the plateau also.